Thanks for tuning in, and welcome back to the box. If it was Friday, today would be Front End Furniture Friday. But it's not, so it's just time to build some more furniture in the front end of the truck. Right now, we just have a very basic seat box structure. What I'm going to build here is a basically floor to almost ceiling center cabinet, and then sort of a side rest and back rest on the seat box. As with the rest of the build, this is all just going to be made out of T-slot extrusion. But the first thing I need to do is take a whole bunch of what I have apart. Now, if you've watched how I've put together the rest of this T-slot furniture, you know that I've been using what I call nut slugs. Ew. And with those nut slugs, they slide in from the end, and that's how all of these corner brackets and pieces are held in place. Now, I need to take this apart to install all the nut slugs for sort of the next layer. And I don't want to take it apart 9 times because I've forgotten one. So I've just gone around and placed pieces of tape all the way around to show where I need to put them. Or at least where I think I need to put them. Time will tell. Taking this apart is simple. Just a couple of hex drive bolts in the corners and it comes back apart. And that is pretty quick and easy. Now that it's off, I can separate it into its 4 individual parts and slide the nut slugs into each one. Sometimes it's hard to focus on simple tasks like this, even for the camera. So without boring you with endless time lapse of me putting nut slugs in, let's just say we've installed some nut slugs, and I've also changed out these corner pieces that were flat before to be able to support the vertical corners. With the slugs in, putting it back together is simple, and if I play the previous clip again, but in reverse, we would basically see what it takes to put it back together. And now I'm at my starting point. Now, these seat boxes are 26 inches from the back to the front, the same as the countertop. But that's a little bit excessive for something to just sit on. The first piece is going to be a crossbar that runs from here over to here, and that's going to end up giving us about an 18-inch seat bench. And from the crossbar back, we'll end up turning into a backrest with storage inside. Because that crossbar is only supported on its ends and will be supporting the back end of the seat, I'm going to fabricate some aluminum brackets as opposed to using 3D printed ones. Not that I don't trust all the other 3D printed brackets in here, but these ones have the potential for significantly more load on them, and it doesn't really matter how I design them in 3D printing, they're just not going to be capable of carrying that load. The concept I've come up with is to start with a piece of scrap that I have. This is a leftover piece of what was 2-inch by 2-inch by 1/8-inch square corner, important, aluminum box tube. I believe this was a leftover when I did a miscut when I was building one of the camper lift jacks. Imagine for a moment that we cut this in half along the bottom. That ends up with 2 L-shaped pieces. From these L-shaped pieces, the new piece that runs across the seat box will sit on top, and the existing piece will be in the back. At least that's the idea. Let's see what happens. Cutting this scrap into 2 3-inch pieces and then zip disking each piece in half will give me the 4 pieces that I need as a starting point to make these brackets. And now you can see why I wanted to use a square corner versus trying to get something with a round inside corner to fit. They just don't fit as nicely. Now I could trim off the inside corner here, but why, when you have something that fits properly? So now I just need to trim this across here and those little pieces of the corner off. And we should have a bracket ready to drill a couple of holes. And now I'm going to use one of my favorite tools. This is my very old, in fact so old that it doesn't have any information or nameplates on it, stomp shear. Now I've removed the guard to show you how it works. Basically, there's pedals down here on which you stomp. When you stomp, the guillotine blade moves up and down. So if you remove the guard and stick your fingers in here and stomp on it, it's going to cut your fingers off. Luckily, I know enough not to do that. Yet still, here we are with the guard removed for a good demonstration. I have a little line scribed on here. Simply place it underneath the blade, line it up with the edge of the cutter, and with not sticking my fingers under the blade, stomp, and we get a nice cut corner. Very fast, very efficient, and if you don't stick your fingers in it, very safe. Any day of the week, if I can fit the piece into the stomp shear, I'm gonna choose it over the skill saw, jigsaw, plasma cutter, bandsaw, zip disc, any of them. Quick, clean, and easy. Clearly, there could be a risk that somebody could walk into my shop, stick their fingers in there, and stomp on it. So let's identify the hazard, and now nobody will do it. I know, it's a press brake sticker, not a shear sticker. Shh, don't tell OSHA. With the first 2 brackets made and the holes drilled, we can install them on the first seat box. For now, I'm just putting these in hand tight until I get the exact position and we get the piece sitting in here. And I think you can agree this is going to be much stronger than just the 2 brackets on their own. With both of the brackets in place, the next piece just drops in. Oh, if only it were that easy. That single piece needs about 15 nut slugs in it. For some reason, this round of printed slugs are fitting a bit tighter than the last round. They still work fine, but take a bit more force to move around. I stand corrected. It's 12 nut slugs, not 15. But each of those nut slugs takes about 2 minutes to put in. And that means I spent the last hour putting in nut slugs. Yes, because even though you've seen me building one side, I've actually been building both the entire time. And though that means I've been making better progress than you think, it also means that once again, I've run myself completely out of nut slugs. But don't worry, I have another thing that I want to get done. It's pretty simple, but I remembered that the top of this wall, I didn't actually put in any corner pieces. And with replacing these corner pieces with T's, I have a couple of extra and I might as well put them in. Similar to the seat box, by simply removing a few screws, it lets me get this back to where I can, let's say, update the design. Having the ability to go back to the start is not something that you get with traditional, say, wood-based glue and screw furniture. This flexibility means when we want to make a change or tweak a design, it's not a majorly destructive process. If you're considering building this way, make sure you check the links in the video description to where you can download the 3D printable parts that I've designed. Pretty simple little thing to do, costs virtually nothing, and stiffens up the wall structure just a little bit more. Now before I go back inside and hit print on my printer to print out another, 100 or so nut slugs that I'm going to continue to need, there's one more thing that I want to try. As I'm sure many of you want to know, what's going on with injector 4? Well, I've continued to come out here and tighten it a little bit, and spray some more PB Blaster. It still hasn't come out, but I've gotten to a point where I can't actually tighten the nut anymore. And that gave me an idea. What if I take my air hammer on the top and send a little bit of vibration down the injector to see if I can break free whatever it is that's holding it in there. This air hammer is not very powerful. It's not going to send massive shock waves through there, but maybe it will just loosen things up enough that I can continue to put some tension on it, give it some vibration, see how it goes. So I'll turn the volume down for you. I am also going to hold the wrench on the bud stud so that I know it's not tightening or loosening on the injector. And I just set this just on top. I doubt that did anything, but what else can we try? Now, see if I can pull. Oh, I did get a little bit more tension on there. Not a lot, but I did get a little. Again, I'm gonna let it sit, spray some more PB Blaster in, come back in a couple of days and try the same thing. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the links in the video description, but most importantly, don't forget to come back next time. Thanks for watching and we'll see you then.